Okay, so after listening to Dr. Cheryl Arut discuss the Munson and Thomas case, I would have to say that the forensic guidelines that I believe were followed um, throughout the initial uh, discussion of the case were that there were attempts made by those involved to do their due diligence, especially with those who originally responded to the scene after Munson had shot Thomas. This is a result of Standard 3.02 and 3.03, where it states that they should be responsive and communicate as best they can, and I believe that they were responsive, and they did communicate as best they could with the parties that were involved. I do apologize. In regards to those standards or guidelines that I believe were violated, there were several that I thought were violated as a result of simply not having laws in place that could help meet the needs of same-sex families. Those involved in the case seem to have been in violation of the following APA standards or guidelines as it relates to this case. It was standard 1.02, impartiality and fairness, which happened when both parties weren't given the same treatment as those who are in heterosexual relationships. As a whole, the competency levels for this case seem to be severely lacking, especially as you look at standards 2.04, knowledge of the legal system and legal rights of individuals, as there didn't seem to be anybody other than Dr. Arut who could really point anybody in, who could really say anything in regards to same-sex families and their ability to access counseling services or even housing in abuse situations. What else? It did not seem to be any direction that anyone else could have really turned these families to. Again, this is simply because of laws and practices that are currently in place. As Dr. Arut had said, same-sex families don't have the same treatment or don't get the same treatment as heterosexual couples, so there are bound to be a whole bunch of different issues that come into play in these types of cases. I almost forgot to add the last part of the questions, and I do think that the standards and guidelines would apply to, or how I think that they would apply is that they would give myself a better understanding of how I'm supposed to help individuals who are seeking my counseling services. It's just like anything in life. There are a set of rules that you should follow, and I do think that by following the APA standards, that mental health professionals would be able to properly do their duties if they do have good judgment and do follow what has been outlined for them.